Did you know that fear is the only obstacle that's keeping you away from achieving your real dreams? Fear is the one emotion that will cripple you not only mentally and emotionally, but also physically. And a lot of people are dealing with fear their entire life. They never overcome it. They never learn how to deal with self-empowerment. It is so important to get past fear and to experience it. If I didn't listen and I gave in to my fears, I wouldn't end up in Mexico. I wouldn't have tried my new life. I wouldn't have been able to transform myself if I believed in those fears. You know, the one thing about fear, it's all lies. It's all in your head. Do not believe it. Turn off the noise. It doesn't exist. It's your ego. It's your ego from holding you back from achieving what you really want in life. I had to overcome that fear when I chose to sell my house, move to another country, and start a new, complete life, to transform my life for the better. I wanted a more peaceful lifestyle, and I did my due diligence. I've studied hard and worked hard to figure out where I wanted to move, and Cabo was the city I wanted to choose. And this is the place I ended up with. And I want to tell you my story about how I got here from the beginning. I moved here August 1st, 2022, and I've purchased 2 properties. One was a lot on the Pacific side. I wanted to build my dream home. It's always been my dream to build a home on the Pacific Ocean, whether it was in California or Mexico, it didn't matter, but it made more financial sense to do it in Mexico. Plus on top of the fact that I wanted to live in another culture. So this was the perfect opportunity to take a chance on Cabo San Lucas. So I sold my house, all my possessions, except for 2 suitcases and my dog. And then we got in the car August 1st, 2022, and we headed for the Baja. I got down here within a matter of weeks. I found the perfect parcel of land right on the Pacific side, right outside of Cabo San Lucas in a development called Rolling Hills Estates. It's about 15 minutes outside of Cabo San Lucas. We're building our future dream home right there. But before that, I couldn't even move in there. I couldn't even start building right away. And I'm a contractor. I've built for 15 years in the States, and I've built and remodeled over 700 homes. And so I love a good challenge. And I told my realtor that I was working with at the time, I said, I can't build on this for 2 years. What am I gonna do? And he said, I don't know, James. He goes, maybe rent for 2 years, maybe buy a place that you can live with for 2 years and then resell it in 2 years. I'm like, you know what? I got something better. And I thought I was out of the construction industry when I moved here. I didn't want to get back into it. You know, I've been doing it for 15 years. I wanted to try something new. And I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to learn a new construction type. And so I said, you know what, maybe this is God pushing me to do what I wanted to do, what I was meant to do, besides teach. It's construction. I love to learn, and I love to build, and I love to help others. So this was the perfect opportunity. I told my realtor who I was working with at the time, I said, go find me the most screwed up home and then one of the nicest neighborhoods in Cabo, and I will totally transform it and create the most dynamic home in the neighborhood. Find me the ugliest home in one of the prettiest neighborhoods, something really fugly, something no one even wants to look at. So he found it. We found it together. And oh man, this was one hell of a project. I love getting the ugliest house in the neighborhood and transforming it into one of the most beautiful homes in the neighborhood, because it just helps me use my creative abilities every day in this position. I love it. I absolutely love it to be able to look at something that is just completely ugly and just transform it into something just dynamic. I get to use my creative abilities every day in this type of position, and it's just so fulfilling to me. And I saw this house and we went over the inspection. I mean, there was so many things wrong with this. There was over 600 code violations just in this home alone. And I was just like, other investors that were looking at this project completely ran away crying. You know, it fell out of escrow several times, and I knew this was the project because I looked at all the numbers in the subdivision, all the comps and the comparable sales, because I didn't fall in love with the home. The home was absolutely ugly. It was atrocious when I purchased it. And it was actually a brand new construction. I purchased it from another American who probably didn't know little to nothing about construction. And also the people that were building it really knew little to nothing about construction. And I saw it and I was like, wow, this is a great opportunity, because the numbers when I purchased this home were outstanding. I knew there's no way I could lose money, I could make money on it. And it was just a great opportunity. Besides, I wanted to build my home and it was 2 years away from achieving. I couldn't even start for another 2 years because I was still waiting in Rolling Hills Estate. I was still waiting for them to run the electrical, and I was still waiting for them to run all the, to build all the roads too, and the rest of the infrastructure in the subdivision. So I couldn't even build, I couldn't even submit plans yet. And on top of it, that process to purchase it took 9 months. It was a pretty grueling process. But here I said, let's get this property. And the purchase on this property was not easy. The negotiations took about a week and a half, and I've never had negotiations take that long. Usually they take within 12 to 14 hours, maybe a couple of days at most. This took like a week because the previous seller couldn't make a decision. The realtor was delaying things, and it was very challenging, but I absolutely loved it. I don't regret it one bit. And I wanted to get back to my roots in remodeling. I said, you know what? Although it's not a wood home, it's a concrete home. I've done a couple concrete homes back home, and I know it's more challenge, it's a lot more work. I wanted to completely destroy the property and basically start from scratch. I took apart the entire roof. I redid the roof. We redid everything. We replaced all the plumbing, we replaced all the electrical, we replaced all the flooring, replaced all the cabinets. When I first took on this remodel, I knew there were several obstacles I had overcome. Number one was the roof. The roof definitely needed a new design. It was an outdated design from the 1970s. It was really horrible. What is normal in Mexico is a flat roof design, is very typical. So we ended up doing a majority of the roof as a flat roof, except for the front section, which is seen from the street. I thought that was the most dynamic part of the roof, is the pitch and the angle that we did. It actually goes from 3 foot down to 0 in those 3 sections, and the middle section is a little bit higher than the other 2 sections. And if you're looking at it from the street level, the master actually used to be on the left side. Now it's on the right side, overlooking the pool and the Pacific Ocean. So I felt like the master needed to be on the other side of the house. And I ended up putting another bedroom on the left side to replace the master right there. So there is 3 bedrooms upstairs, and then a 4th bedroom is downstairs with its own private kitchen. Another obstacle we had to overcome was the driveway. It used to have a 45-degree angle pitch, and it was almost impossible to get a car down there. And what we ended up doing to fix that, because it was so steep before, it's now a 30-degree angle. And it's much easier to get a car in there. I can get my truck in there. I've got a 2023 Nissan Armada 4x4, so if my truck can fit in there, anything on the market can fit on there, because it's one of the biggest SUVs on the market. We ended up raising the floor 9 inches, and we poured another 9 inches of concrete, so the slope would be less extreme. So it went from a 45-degree slope to a 30-degree slope, coupled with the fact that this home did not have a pool before. And normally I would never put a pool in a remodel, but I felt this kind of commanded it. Everything in the neighborhood is really, it's $2 million plus, and everything in the neighborhood has a pool. Probably 80% of the homes have a pool. It's in Cabo, it's one of the nicer subdivisions in Cabo San Lucas, so I felt it needed a pool. And we put a gorgeous 50-foot lap pool in the backyard. You can also use it for volleyball. It's a play pool, it's a lap pool, and it's got 2 nice, beautiful Baja shelves in the pool. And it's just a dynamic entrance. The entrance before was really outdated. I mean, it had a 30-inch walkway to get to the front door, and the front door was actually a slider before. I don't know why the guy put a patio door slider for his front door, but now it's got elegant steps. They're 13 feet wide. It's very grandiose to get to the front door. It's really a great entrance. And the design from the street, it just looks so dynamic and so clean and so transformative. I absolutely love it.
The roof in itself, the tile roof, was completely unique because 99% of the homes in Cabo San Lucas, in general, are going to have the orange barrel tile roof. So I've never seen anything that is concrete flat tile roof. I actually found a tile company in Mexico City that made this, and they actually had a black flat concrete roof tile. I thought this would be such a dynamic option to put on the home because it totally stands out, because it's truly unique. I have never seen one in Cabo San Lucas at all. And then on top of it, I had this double door. It's 10-foot double door, glass double door for the main entrance. It really looks spectacular on this house. All the glass, all the windows and doors are all brand new. Everything in the house is brand new to begin with, but all the doors and windows, they're dual pane, energy efficient with argon gas, and they're hurricane glass because we live in hurricane country. You have to protect yourself. They're really energy efficient. They block out all the heat, they block out all the sun. It's totally peaceful and quiet in this house, and I really thought this was an added element because it's not a lot of people do this in their homes, and you really 90% of the heat that gets into the home is coming from the windows and the roof, and so it's very important that you add extra insulation not only in the roof but all your windows, and you have to upgrade to the nth degree to keep all the heat out. We added 8 inches of insulation in the entire roof when we did the roof as well, so this home should be very energy efficient. The backyard itself is so tranquil and peaceful. I absolutely love it. We put this 50-foot pool there. It's a lap pool. It's very relaxing. This is one of the fewest cities I've ever lived in my life where you can swim 12 months a year and the temperature in the water is amazing every day. I actually had this custom jacuzzi. It fits 10 people comfortably, 10 to 12 people comfortably. And it's got over 140 jets, and it's so luxurious. And I soak in it every day for 30 minutes before I jump in the pool. And we also installed an outside shower there if you want to shower outside. There's a huge covered patio. It's 700 square feet for entertaining. We put an 86-inch television on the patio, 2 ceiling fans, and you can spend your entire day in Cabo outside. It's so awesome. This bedroom is truly unique and very elegant. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite bedrooms I've ever designed. This bedroom bathroom combo is 1,100 square feet. I made it a resort style. You have a bed overlooking an 86-inch television and the backyard with your own 22-foot glass slider overlooking not only the backyard but also the Pacific Ocean. And when you go into the bathroom, you have a his and her closet. It's completely open, and you have a private makeup counter for your better half right there, and also a huge soaker tub big enough for a 6'5" human. And you got an enormous shower with his and her heads, and the shower is huge. It's 12 foot by 6 foot. It's enormous. And then you have your own private television to look at every day when you're showering or taking a tub bath. It's very elegant, and it's one of our favorite rooms. The home was, when I originally purchased it, was brand new construction, yet the design was completely dysfunctional, totally out of style, and absolutely atrocious. We inspected the property, and the property itself had actually over 600 building code violations. All these items were corrected during the remodel, so the new homeowner would have a total turnkey home with complete peace of mind. The original home foundation, when I purchased it, was actually 2,700 square feet, and we added on an additional 1,800 square feet, so the new square footage is actually 4,500 square feet. We also added on a 700 square foot patio that is 15 foot deep, excellent for entertainment or just lounging by the pool. I felt it was necessary to expand the formal living spaces, the kitchen, the great room, and all the bedrooms, and implement a half a bath just off the kitchen and family room. It's absolutely necessary to have a half a bath in any house. It's a great addition for guests or just for convenience of everyday living. The kitchen is the most important room in the entire house, and this is a chef's kitchen completely to die for. It's got dual pantries, dual dishwashers, extra storage. You've got every design element you could ever want in a kitchen. And plus we have an oversized great room, which is 1,200 square feet of massive entertainment. And this island is huge. It's 12 feet by 6 feet. You've got an oversized fridge. Everything is there. That I've thought of everything in this design. I even brought in recessed can lights. We have 26 recessed can lights for the great room and the kitchen combined. There's a great spot for a dining room if you want to add a dining room table. This is really an elegant space, and I absolutely love it. It's great for entertaining. Every bedroom in this house and bathroom is oversized, and I'm using this bedroom as my office temporarily. It used to be the master bedroom, but we added on some additional square feet. Now it's 18 by 15. It overlooks the Pacific side. It's on the left-hand side of the house. It's opposite of the master bedroom suite. The bathroom on this side is also oversized. It's 18 foot by 8 foot, and it's got a luxurious private shower. This is awesome. Anyone would love to have this bedroom. The other third bedroom up here is oversized as well. It's 18 by 15. It's got a little bit smaller bathroom, but it's super luxurious as well. And this is really a great space. One of the main reasons why I purchased this house from the beginning, because it had its own private unit downstairs, separate from the main house. It was one of only a few homes below 5 million with its own private living quarters away from the main house. And that's awesome. The downstairs steps was actually part of the outside when I purchased this home. I actually had to enclose it and make it part of the house. So the main house has access to the downstairs, but the downstairs unit does not have access to the main house. They can only go out the side of the home, and then they have their own private parking lot and their own private space. So they have only access to the downstairs unit, and it is truly unique. It's got a brand new kitchen. It's got a full-size kitchen in there with a full-size fridge, microwave oven, dishwasher, luxurious shower. It's really a great little unit down there. And most of the people that live in Cabo, they're only here 9 months a year. They usually go back to the States for 3 months. So if you don't want to live here full time, this is a perfect opportunity to have a tenant down there, extra family, who's going to guard the property 12 months a year. We do have 24-hour security in this gated community, and it's totally safe, but this is just an awesome added element if you want to have someone that watches the home while you're gone or traveling throughout the year. It's just a great bonus.
As a real estate investor, when I look at a project, it's got to not only work on paper, but it also has to help my creative abilities. I got to get my juices going. I've got to see a property that's in its worst complete state, and I got to envision it. Am I going to make a huge difference not only to the home but the entire neighborhood? It's really got to get my juices flowing for me to even take on a project, because sometimes I have to look at 100 opportunities to find one, maybe two that actually works, and which is very difficult to find. And I found in Mexico there's a ton of opportunity here as a real estate investor. There's a lot of opportunity because there's it's really hard to get financing here. Everything is a cash buying market, and there's a lot of default. There's a lot of foreclosure here. A lot of people just fall out of money. They get no longer interested in the product and they just walk away. So there's a lot of opportunity, but I found that there's no one doing remodels here. There's absolutely no one doing remodels here because it's a complete nightmare. It's 20 times harder than what I'm used to in the States because everything is in concrete. And it's a completely different animal versus frame construction. It's just so much more challenging, so much more difficult. I'm used to demoing a 4,000, 5,000 square foot house, and it takes less than a week, maybe 10 days at most. This demo took 6 months. It was a grueling process. And I had 10 guys working over here on top of myself. 10 guys working over here every day for 6 months, jackhammering, destroying concrete. And then we finally got to the build process in about 6 months, so we started building the home. And it just seemed to make sense in my mind. And whether I could do it, yes, I knew I could do it. It's just how much money it was going to take and how long of a process, because it took a lot longer than I thought. You know, I originally envisioned 9 months to do it. It ended up taking 12 months, you know, and it just, I didn't expect the demo to take so long. I had never done this much demo on construction home, because usually the demos I'm doing are frame construction. It takes a lot less, but it was very challenging. And I remember we were expanding the bathroom downstairs. It was originally a 3-foot by 3-foot shower, and we're transforming it into a 4-foot by 6-foot shower. And we were jackhammering to move the drain to the center of the shower. And I remember we were jackhammering it, and there was electrical lines right under the shower drain. And I'm like, oh my God, this home is a nightmare, much worse than I ever thought. So I knew at that point, I already knew, but at that point I said, look, I'm replacing all the plumbing and I'm replacing all the electrical in the entire house. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care how much extra work. I'm not dealing with this crap. Because I mean, if he did something like this, the whole house is a nightmare. So I wanted to do things right. And most people in construction don't do things right. They do things half-assed, and I'm not like that. I do everything the right way, and I want it in pristine conditions. So when I hand the keys to the future homeowner, they have a house that they don't have to worry about whatsoever. But this was a phenomenal project. As I said, I've built and remodeled over 700 homes. This was probably one of my favorite. It's easily in the top 5. It's probably the most challenging one I've ever had to deal with, but it was such a great joy to finish it. And just the work, I worked with the guys, and it was an amazing project, and I love it. And now I can call Mexico my home, because this is truly a special place. Maybe one day you're going to want to remodel in Mexico. And you know, it's not for everyone. Building a home is much more easier in Mexico and remodeling, I know, is a lot easier in the States. Here it's far more challenging, and I'm telling you, it's going to be 10 times, 20 times challenging, more challenging in the States. Material costs 30 to 45% more here than it does in the States. And just an example, like a bag of concrete is $5 or $6 in Phoenix when I left. Here it's $22 a bag of concrete. You know, that's just for concrete, and everything you build here is in concrete. Tile costs more, all the plumbing and electrical costs more, 30 to 40% more than the States. And it's just going to be far more challenging to remodel here, homes here. So it might not be right for you. I wanted to do it because it's a challenge. I love challenges. Most people cry at challenges, but I live for challenges every day. When someone tells me I can't do something, I love to show it. I can definitely do it, and I'll do it better than you thought.
I really hope you enjoyed the remodel as much as I did. It was truly an amazing experience, and I absolutely elated with the outcome. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button and share it with a friend. I truly appreciate all your support. I'm blessed to be able to share all my unique experiences with you in Cabo San Lucas, and hopefully I've enriched your lives for the better. If you're honestly interested in purchasing the property, please reach out to me. I have an exclusive special price just for my subscribers at $2,250,000. On top of all this, I'm willing to offer my 12-person luxurious jacuzzi and all the furnishings, which is $125,000 value at this exclusive price only. Touch base with me if you'd like to know further details. I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, my friend.